Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Grandma Red. You know, Deck ran Red. It's Grandma, but I'm just gonna call her Grandma Red. She did a video on taking accountability of her divorce. Yes, her husband had some infidelity issues, but she also was over some of the issues that she may contributed to his infidelity and then their divorce, which is wonderful. Her taking accountability, how most women can't, and it's good for her to show face in a sense this way. And it's like, look, even I made mistakes. Everybody's made mistakes. I tell you guys, I made plenty of mistakes. I've been to jail twice. So please like, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And let's get to that chow. It's chow time.
The title of this video is going to cause some women to absolutely hate me, but I don't care. I've said in one of my other videos that I was married and divorced and rearing children.
Yeah, a lot of you guys were wondering why she was divorced in the comment of the first video, so she's going to go over that in this one.
By myself for a while, and I believe I said we split because of my husband's infidelity, but that's not totally true. I need to tell you what I did that contributed to this divorce, okay?
Everybody contributed to a divorce. I'm sure I contributed to my divorce too. I'm sure I did things wrong. I'm sure I wasn't masculine enough. I'm sure I wasn't, I gave her too much leeway. There's a lot of mistakes that everybody makes. It's not just one person. And it's not always the opposite that always does all the bad stuff. You do bad stuff too, or you're lacking somewhere.
It takes two people to make a marriage, and it takes two people to break a marriage.
Oof.
So I'm not innocent by any means. When I met and married my husband, I weighed about 105 pounds.
Ooh.
After giving birth to 5 children, I had put on 60 pounds.
165?
Well, down here
That's
in
how much I weigh now.
Texas, when we see a woman who's 5'1" and weighs 160, 170 pounds, we sometimes referred to her as corn-fed. Because back when I was a child...
See, I didn't fully watch this. I just knew what was going on with this video. I like doing, like genuine reactions to them, so I don't really usually pre-watch the videos beforehand. And I was wondering what she meant by corn-fed woman.
Hogs were raised to be fat.
Ooh.
For the lard. We now know that a hog that is slimmer, that has more muscle, is much healthier for you to consume than a big old hog.
Ooh.
So a corn-fed girl, that was not a very nice thing to call a woman back then, but it meant her body density was just way too much for her height.
They were ruthless back then. Corn-fed meant, it wasn't even that bad of a term, to tell the truth, and people still got upset.
So I became one of those corn-fed girls, and yes, I'm saying corn-fed, like a corn-fed hog. And that's not what my husband married. And the women that he cheated on me with had things in common. They were about my age, so the age didn't matter. He wasn't looking for a younger woman. They had children too. So he wasn't, deterred by the children. But what he did desire about them was that they took the time to make their hair look nice. They had nice bodies. They didn't, eat half of the family's resources like I did at one time.
Damn, Grandma, she's digging in on herself. This is true accountability right here. I don't even think I hear men take accountability the way she's taking accountability here. A shout out to Grandma Red.
Now, a lot of you will say, well, if he loved you, no. What I did was just as deceitful as what he did. I'm not blaming him for everything. Now, that's the common thing to do. The popular thing to do is blame the man for everything that happened.
That is true.
But he married a woman that weighed, I'm not sure, I think it was 105 pounds. It might have been 115, but no more than that. And he ended up with a 165, 170 pound sweat hog.
Damn, grandma, you calling yourself a sweat hog. That's crazy that the way she's going about this in her perspection kind of thought process here, you know. Yeah. I'm sure when I was with my ex-wife, I probably wasn't the healthiest. I'm like the healthiest and best looking I've ever been in my life currently. And she's right. Everybody has some kind of, I want to say, fault when it comes to things failing. Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's not, but almost always it's a combination of both, right? And to be able to admit that you made mistakes and be able to understand the things that you did that were incorrect, and then, maybe go about it and then fixing it along the way is wonderful. Grandma's taking accountability. She's not looking for anybody, so it's a little bit different. But her knowing all this makes her better prepared for the next man if she ever does want to. Just like us men. Hey, a woman leaves us because we're broke. Start making some money. A woman leaves us because, we're not so good looking. Start working on our bodies. Just do these little things to get us back into great shape, great health, great mental capacity, and confidence.
That's on me.
Mm.
Now, yes, I did a lot of things to contribute to the marriage. But the one thing I didn't maintain was what he thought was my beauty. That's what attracts people in the first place, is your looks. You don't even necessarily know if you want to talk to someone until you know what they look like.
She's 100% correct. This is where I think, grandma is just destroying the modern women's like playbook in a sense, because they always want to say, "Oh, looks doesn't matter. Looks doesn't matter." No, it truly does. Because when you look at someone, something has to connect. Something has to drive you to want to be with that person. And it's usually fucking looks.
And it's that sexual attraction that is the first thing that brings you together. Well, after that, you build a relationship. But I failed as a wife. So I don't want any of you here thinking that I'm preaching to you and claiming that I did everything right, because I didn't.
No, I like her better than people that did everything right in a sense. Why? Because she's willing to admit that she's wrong. She's willing to tell you the truth of what's going on. I think people that have failed and willing to share their failures are really great leaders, right? They're able to use that story of failure to teach, to train, to help other people understand the thought processes of what happened then. That's a wonderful skill.
And I just want you to know that men have standards too.
That's what I tell you guys.
They have a right to have standards. It's what we call boundaries.
Yep.
Now, these liberal, psychologists would not agree with me, but a man's boundaries are just as important as any woman's boundaries.
Tell them, Grandma.
So if I want to blame anyone for the demise of my marriage, I would blame myself first. Now, did he have a right to cheat on me? No, not really. But, he could have done things honorably and said to me, this is not working out. He never asked me to make any changes, but I shouldn't have waited for him to ask. After you give birth to 5 children and you put on a little weight with every one of them, well, it racks up and it looks horrible. And I'll tell you, there are a lot of reasons men don't like that. Some men do. There's always going to be an exception.
Damn, I love this grandma. She is just so, oh my God. Her talking points, just her thought process. Yeah, she's right. Yeah, not every man. When I got with my ex-wife, she's 4'11" and she was 115, 110. She ended up being 160 and weighing more than me, but I still loved her. You know, like the weight didn't matter to me because I still loved her. And for some men, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You know, once they get with you, they see you only as the woman they first met. And this is a true statement because again, I tell you the story of when my ex-wife showed up to my mom's funeral. I didn't recognize her. I hadn't seen her for like 2, 3 years almost at that by that time, and I didn't know who the fuck she was because she looked so different to me. But according to my best friend, she looked about the same, but she looked so much more aged to me because we're not together anymore. That image of when we first got together got shattered and is gone. Now I actually see her as her true age and as her true self. So
Someone who likes a big, beautiful woman, as they call them. Well, there's nothing beautiful about excessive folds of fat.
ooh,
It means you're unhealthy. It also means you're not disciplined.
yes,
You can't push yourself away from the table. It also means you're greedy.
ooh,
Because when you have a family, 5 children and 2 parents, you have a family of 7, and you're consuming the majority of the calories, you are a selfish, greedy person.
damn,
So,
grandma.
when I look in the mirror,
She's really digging into herself, and I think this is pretty. I think this is how I think most people should be handling themselves. This is how I handle myself. Actually, I degrade myself in my inner monologue pretty harshly. When I make mistakes, I'm just like my inner monologue. You motherfucker! How did you fucking do that? Why did you fucking do that? Like you're a fucking idiot for doing that. Now how are we gonna fix this shit because you're a fucking idiot? That's my inner monologue. That's like talking to myself. I know it's probably not the best, but it's how it pushes me to be better. And she's going through it.
or I look back in my past, I see this selfish, greedy person that I was. To consume most of the calories, to let myself go, and not be in the present for my husband. And I also failed my children. So I'm not giving you advice because I'm perfect or I was a 10 out of 10. I'm giving you advice because I learned the hard way. And I took a good look at myself. And these videos that women are making today have been very helpful to me because it's made me take a very critical look at myself and what my behaviors are. And something that I noticed just recently is I caught myself talking to one of my sons the same way that some of these horrible women speak to their boyfriends or husbands.
Oh no.
There's no reason to be disrespectful to somebody you love. I adore that man, that son of mine. I live with him. I used to have a home of my own. Now I live with him. He does a lot for me that he shouldn't have to do. And I was talking to him like he was beneath me. Well, I don't have any right to do that, and you don't have any right to do that as well. And if you think that you can weigh 300 pounds and be a corn-fed woman, if you think a man needs to take you as you are and try to fix you or love you the way you are, then you're wrong. You need to work on yourself. You need to love yourself enough to take care of your body, to take care of your health. Because let me tell you what you add to the marriage. Your excess weight adds to the life of your furniture. No, it doesn't add to the life of your furniture. It takes away from the life of your furniture.
That's pretty ruthless. The heavier you are, the faster your furniture is gonna get fucked up. So lose some goddamn weight, people.
Because you're too goddamn heavy to sit on the sofa. It takes away from your health. So you have added, doctor bills. It takes away from your love life because I don't know many men, well, actually, I don't know any man who would like to wrap their arms around some hog to keep warm at night or to snuggle up to. Chances are you snore. Chances are your breath is bad. Chances are you might have left a tuna sandwich in one of those folds.
Ooh.
Take care of yourself. Take pride in yourself. Now, currently, I'm still 5'1". I'm still overweight. But I'm not trying to be in a relationship. And I want you to know, if I ever for once thought about being in a relationship, I'd be hitting that gym every day. But not for him so much as for me. Because I don't want to give somebody that I might be interested in as a husband, I don't want to give him something substandard. I want him to have the best.
Hear that, guys? Hear that? She wants to give them the best. This is why you work on yourself. You work on your body, men. Not saying that you have to be your best for these women. No. When you want to give yourself to someone, you usually want to give them the best version of you possible. So work on the best version of you. You know, Grandma's just spitting out fire and game right now to everyone, men and women. You really need to work on yourself and give you the best version of you to the people around you. This is what I try to do. I try to help everybody within my inner circle and outer circle the best as possible. You know, when you work on yourself, you work on your looks, you're confident. When you're confident, you're a different person. People don't realize how major the changes can be when you're different, when you're confident in yourself, confident in your looks, confident in your abilities, confident in yourself. It's a major change.
And that's what you should have in mind too. So don't be dragging these men down because they don't want someone who looks like a whale stuffed in a spandex. I see fat women all the time, 200 or 300 pounds, wearing spandex, where their butt crack is showing and their belly hangs over, and it's disgusting.
That it is, Grandma.
And it means you're unhealthy, and you're certainly not fit. Yeah, I watched some big influencer who weighs 250 pounds trying to dance and do some kind of ballet movements. It looks like a cartoon of a pig dancing in a tutu. I'm sorry, that's what it looks like. And men just don't want that. So if you really want a good man, be something nice for him too. And don't blame him when he walks away from you because you're toxic, or because he's working all day and you're eating everything in the house. I wouldn't want to live with a man who did that. Would you? Mm-hmm. So if you wouldn't accept that from a man, don't think he has to accept that from you, because he just doesn't.
Yep.
So, men, I know you've wanted to say this to women for a long time, but you're not as ruthless as I am.
No, we're not.
But let me tell you why. I was in the Marine Corps in the 70s.
Oh.
And back then, you couldn't even show emotion. You were told to stow that shit and just get back to work. You know, you learn how to be hard a little bit. So I guess I was never really a feminine woman. I don't know why my husband married me in the first place, because I was in the Marine Corps before I met him. I was not as feminine as he probably would have liked. I was in better shape, but there's no use crying when you're not willing to put in the work. So men, you don't have to settle for a sweat hog or a corn-fed girl. Find someone in shape.
Oh, that was some damn good, child. Like Grandma says, you can have standards, man. It's okay to have standards and fight for your standards. And, you know, don't let women shame you for your standards, shame you for any reason, for being you or for wanting what you want. You know, but if you're going to have high standards for yourself. You know, work on your body, work on your money, work on your purpose, work on the people around you, the relationships around you. That makes you high value to me. So please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.